Good morning, children. This video is for anyone working in the pyramid group. Today we are recognising edges, faces and vertices on 3D shapes. Before we start today's learning, please do task 1, which is 10 games on TT Rockstars. Okay, and before we start answering some questions, task 2 is to watch 2 videos on BBC Bite Size about identifying the properties of 3D shapes, including edges, faces and vertices. Once you watch both videos, come back to this video, and then we'll move on to answer the questions. So today, children, after watching those 2 videos, you should have more of an idea now about the properties of 3D shapes. Question 1 says here, match the 3D shapes to the correct number of edges. So what we've got here is we've got 3 shapes. We've got a square base pyramid, we've got a cone, and we've got a cube. Now it says here we've got to work out how many edges are for each shape. Now if you've got any items at home that you've got that are the same as this shape, it would be really good to use. So I've got my closest thing to a cube. And the edges are these points here. So I'm going to count. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I've counted those 4. I'm going to turn it over. And I've got 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I've got 9, 10, 11, 12. So we know the cuboid has got, 12 edges. Just to also point out, a cuboid and a cube have the same amount of edges, as well as vertices, as well as faces. They just have a different shape due to the measurements. Now I don't have a square base pyramid to begin with at home, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this to help us count. We've got, if we take the square part, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 edges that make up the triangles. So altogether we've got 8 edges. Now a cone only has 1 edge. The reason why this is because the actual point, the only edge it has is the base of a cone, and this is a curved edge. So a cone only has 1 edge. Tick the shape that has 0 edges. And this here is a cone, children. And we know that's really got 1 edge, so it can't be that. Now, B, this is a sphere. If I take a golf ball here, this is a shape that has no edges. Okay, it is smooth. Okay, there's no edge around, and we know that C's got edges because if we take this shape here again, cuboid, that has an edge there. But I don't have a straight edge on this golf ball. So B is the shape with no edges. I'm going to move on to looking at vertices. Now vertices, as we mentioned yesterday, are the corners. It's a posh way of saying corners of a shape. So we've got here, circle and count the vertices on this shape. So we get our cuboid here. This is a similar shape. This is a cuboid. We want to count the vertices, so the corners. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn it over. 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight vertices on a cuboid. It says here, which shape has fewer than 6 vertices? Now, if you remember what I said earlier, a cuboid and a cube have the same amount of edges, vertices and faces. So this cube has the same amount of vertices as a cuboid, and we've really identified that a cuboid has 8 vertices, and 8 is greater than 6. We need a shape that's fewer than 6 vertices. So it's here, this is a cylinder. This has fewer than 6 vertices. Now if we take this one here, it's just a candle holder. We've got the edge around there, the curved edge. There's one, and the second curved edge is there. So that would have 2. And 2 is fewer, is smaller than 6. So a cylinder has fewer than 6 vertices. We'll do one more on this. Match the shape to the number of vertices. So again, if we get the golf ball, there are no corners. And the reason why there's no vertices is because there's no edges. If we had 2 edges meet, or 3 edges meet to make a corner. So we know that sphere is that. We've already identified that from this question here, that a cuboid has 8 vertices. Therefore, this is a triangular base pyramid that will have 4. We're now going to faces. Faces, again, this is this part. This is this part of a 3D shape. That's a face there. We take this glue stick, that's a face. We take this cuboid shape, face. And this here has the faces, but it's a curved face. It's not flat. So circle the shape with 5 faces. So this is a cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it can't be that. B, this is a square-based pyramid. Now if you were to think that you've got a square, that the bottom underneath is going to be 1 face, and if you've got a triangle there, from that angle and that angle, that's 4 triangles, and each one includes their own face. That equals 4 plus 1 equals 5. But just to double check, this has 2 faces because it's got 1 underneath and the 1 going around, so that's got 2. And the cylinder has 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, so that's 2, and 1 that goes all the way round, so that'd be 3 faces. So B is correct. Tick the shape that below has flat faces. Golf ball again. This isn't flat, this is curved. So this is a shape that is flat faces. Last question here. Complete the sentence below. The shape has how many flat surfaces and how many curved surfaces? So we take our shape here. That's a flat surface, 1. That's another flat surface, that's 2. And curved surfaces is this 1 here. It just keeps growing continuously, and that's 1 curved surface. That is your input for today's lesson, children. So please now go and answer the questions. There is extra practice on IXL after you've done the task sheets. Best of luck.